Hey Eagles, if you didn't know already, the Spring Musical has already started rehearsals, and that means that the Grind to Performance Day has started. And we, here at ENN, wanted to give you an inside look at what the show looks like, going from uncasted to a finalized performance.
And speaking of uncasted, we got the chance to talk to Mr. Moisenko about this year's audition process for the Spring Musical.
My name is Michael Moisenko. I serve as the high school choir director here for Avon Local Schools. I also direct our a cappella groups. And then I also, of course, am the director for the Spring Musical, and I also teach the music, so the vocal director and the staging director for the musical. You've got a guy who's like a heartthrob, comes rolling into town, and people start falling in love, and it's the sort of misunderstood sort of disguises and getting to know each other, and guy likes girl, but girl doesn't know guy exists, and guy loves different girl, and it's just think of it like a big sort of wacky comedy love story. So my auditions are pretty similar across the board, whether it's this show or any other musical. You'll get an idea of what the show is in advance, and then there is a choreography audition, which is for our choreographer specifically. And you're taught a combination, and just to see how well you move and how well how quickly you can pick things up. But then there is the then there's the vocal element, where you have a set of music that I've decided ahead of time, and you are getting access to and practicing and performing. And you come before me and our audition panel, which was myself, our pit director, our choreographer, our technical director, and a few other keen musical ears, and you sing your audition cut, and then callbacks if needed, which is just a little bit more involved to hear a few different things, and we get them from there as the show.
Working on the Spring Musical so far has been a lot of fun. Spring Musical this year has a very large cast, so it's been really interesting just getting to get to know everyone with every experience that we've had with rehearsal.
What's really cool about this musical is that it's songs that, well, the majority of the songs people know. So like Can't Help Falling in Love or like Devil in Disguise, like these are songs that have been sung for decades, and it's going to be really, really cool to put it on a big stage in a musical sort of way.
It's been really fun. I've gotten to know a lot of my castmates better, just people I've kind of grown up with throughout school, and it's been a really good experience, and I love being able to dance and sing again, and it's been a lot of fun.
Choreo's been fun. It's a great group having everybody on stage, and music is also fun. This year was my first year in choir, so I'm a little new to singing and all, but I feel like it's going really well, and just the sound when we had the whole ensemble in there is amazing.
There's a lot of moving parts, I would say. Like, your steps depend on someone else's steps just as much as like anything else. So you have to know your notes, you have to know where you're going. We always have a pencil to write things down. Things aren't going to be perfect, but hopefully they'll be together by then, and all of our moving parts will move together instead of separately.
I feel like the cast, we're all very hardworking people, and when it's time to really get down and get stuff done, like choreo and music, when we were running stuff for the first time, it was already incredible, and people have been really dedicated about practicing their choreo and their music.
Both choreo and music rehearsals are so fun to be in, and even if it's just a little group for a specific music number or choreo number, it's still just a lot of fun to be part of.
Choreography is a little bit difficult. Learning it with that many people, it's just a little hard, but then we have videos that we can always look at, and learning off of those is much easier. So.
I really like it. I'm good friends with like all the other named characters, and then as far as like the ensemble, I think like with the other guys that are like in football, there's like over 100 people like involved in the musical, which is a lot larger than any other one in the area, and I think that's really cool that we were able to
I was actually excited when I heard we were doing this show because we did this show in 2015. I don't know if you knew that. And so I directed the Pit Orchestra at that time, and it was a lot of fun, and the music was a lot of fun, very different from like your standard musical numbers. So more rock and old 50s rock and some funk and some jazz, and so I was really excited about that.
Honestly, I feel like it's gone really smoothly. It's been a good, easy experience. Last year was really drawn out with COVID, and pushing the pit opening, like the pack opening was delayed, so the process went really long. So this is much more succinct in a shorter time frame, and I feel like we've picked up the music pretty well.
I feel the shift from musical style is completely different. Little Mermaid, we didn't really play any straight ahead rock or blues or anything like that, and that is kind of what this whole entire musical is specifically. And I think especially shifting instruments, it's created a different kind of challenge, I guess. Maybe just like a different way to approach the music as opposed to Little Mermaid last year.
So we started learning the music right after break started, and we've had 1 to 2 to maybe 3 rehearsals a week, and it's been pretty easy. We've gotten through, the first day we got through the whole show just sight reading, and then we've been doing songs and different acts, different days.
I feel like for the most part, the music feels less complicated, at least for my part. It's a wholly different style, right? We've got saxophones and things, whereas last year's felt much more like an orchestra, But overall, I think it's easier for me to kind of get in the groove, and I don't feel like I've had to spend as much time practicing my own part.
I think that because the styles are so different that it's kind of hard to compare, but because they both have their own kind of specific things that are difficult about them, like playing drums in the rock music kind of thing. Difficult to keep your time, you got to keep it straight ahead, keep it going. But in the Little Mermaid, it was very much more flexible. The rhythms were a little more difficult, but in terms of the freedom of tempo and stuff like that, it was just different. I don't think one's harder than the other.
Yeah, well that's why, last year was mostly classically oriented with like your standard orchestration with woodwinds and brass and strings. The orchestration for this pit is just saxophones and trumpets and trombones, a couple flute and clarinet, and the rhythm section, so it's very different in that way.
It's easier and harder. The smaller a pit is, the more people have to cover, and it's really important that everyone is covering their part. But it's also, you get a bigger sound when you have somewhat of a medium size.
It's been a lot of fun. Since we're in the pack, we have our new giant scene shop with all our fancy tools. So it's been good.
It's kind of stressful, but it's so much fun to work with, and I love just the environment of being here after school and staying to do the work that I love.
It's a lot different than like last year's. Last year's, a lot of the stuff was like handmade and hand put together, and then also we rented some of the costumes. This year, everything is stuff that we've either bought or like are borrowing from other theaters, and it's a lot less like making stuff from scratch and more altering pieces so they fit the characters better. Yeah.
So hair and makeup is a really, really fun crew because a lot of the work that people don't really get to see comes in planning makeup sheets and styling wigs, and those are things that like if props were to happen like behind the scenes, hair and makeup happens like behind the scenes. Like it's a very like unseen, kind of like not like forgotten about, but like smaller, very tight-knit crew.
I love working with props because props is like kind of everything on stage that you see. It's anything actors touch and like all pieces of furniture. So I really like it a lot because it brings the whole show together.
This show has been especially interesting because we've had to find some unique stuff like a jukebox, make 12 jail bars, and so it's been kind of like, it's been a little bit of a hunt for some of it, but it's been really cool to like track it all down and get to see it all come together.
Especially the motorcycle. That one's been an interesting
one.
And
the jukebox, like it showed up yesterday and we were both just like, it's here.
There's a lot more to it, and I feel like we get to have more creativity.
Yeah, it's very flexible. I mean, we're creating a whole town, so it's however we want it to be, and with it in mind that it's supposed to be the 50s, but yeah.
In this show, it's been really different because it's just set in like 1950s America. That stuff is easier for us to find rather than it's like, we're under the sea
Underwater.
and I need you to make 17 pieces of coral. Like, it's been a very different experience from Mermaid because this one, it's just a very different setting. And the setting really affects our props work.
Since we have so much less time, we have been on like a lot tighter schedule, which is a little bit of a struggle to get things done, but it's also better because we're more cohesive, I guess, since we're not like spending weeks and weeks and weeks doing it. It's more like compressed.
There's definitely also a lot more set items to be built for this, so I think that there's just a lot more workload, which means that there's a lot of more hands-on like struggle bus like moments, but that being said, it's a lot of fun.
Before, costumes, painting, and props were all kind of stuck together in one room, and it was kind of like an amalgamation of everything, and it was super cramped and super messy. This year we took the time to clean everything out, and I actually got to move into the drama storage in the PAC, which is like now where all of our costumes are being stored. And it's like, it's so nice to have space. Like I have a desk where I can put a sewing machine on and I don't have to like hunch over on the floor and work. I have like multiple clothing racks to hang stuff up on, and like stuff isn't all shoved into one place. It's really nice.
Oh my gosh, okay, so these dressing rooms literally are like a godsend. Like, as you can see, they're just incredible. And then all of our closets and stuff, like, they hold so much space for like costumes and wigs and like personalized items. And then these vanity lights also do such a nice job of like highlighting every little thing that you need to see on your face in order to create like this big, beautiful effect on stage. Like,
it's a big adjustment having to
I don't know, the
create.
pack still kind of scares me.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger.
Yeah, having to create for this scale, I mean,
Yeah.
these like buildings we're making are, you know, some of them are 12 feet wide by 8 feet high, some of them are 10 feet tall, so.
It makes it much harder to paint the middle of it.
Yeah.
So we are about a week away from the Spring Musical. From what you've seen so far, how do you feel about it?
I'm very excited. I know a couple of the people in the play, and I know a lot of the leads, and all of them are very talented.
I think it's going to be great. I've heard a lot about it. I think it's been hyped up for a while now, and I've actually never seen a musical myself, so I'm definitely going to make sure I get out there and see it.
I think it's going to be really good. I'm super excited to watch it, and I think it'll be great like it always is.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to go myself. We have great actors in Avon, great musically talented people, I think. And I'm still experiencing, the new PAC. I've only been there maybe less than 5 times now. And so I'm really excited to see it.
It's going to be a good show. I think that the drama department has done a lot of good work from the last year with The Little Mermaid to this year with Clue. It's going to be a good show.
For the Spring Musical All Shook Up, what are you most excited for when you see it?
Probably the dancing. I think that'll really keep people engaged and keep their attention. Sometimes with plays, I feel like it can be kind of boring, whatever. The music kind of like adds energy to it.
Honestly, the music. I haven't heard much of Elvis, but from what I've heard, he has a lot of good music.
I'm kind of excited for all of it. Because Pit Orchestra is playing in it, I'm super excited to see what music they've brought to the show.
Are you a big Elvis fan?
No.
Not really.
Not particularly, no.
No, my dad was.
I would say I'm not a fan of Elvis, unfortunately, but it's not because I don't like him, it's just because I haven't listened to a lot of his music. But I'm excited to see Avon's interpretation of Elvis music.
Well, hopefully those answers will change after the curtain closes in the next coming days. What do you think about the musical, Jeremy?
I think it's going to be good. I mean, I saw Little Mermaid last year, and that was on an extremely tight time crunch, and they were able to get it out. So having the full process uninterrupted by COVID or by the Disney trip last year, I think that they're going to do well. What about you?
I think they did absolutely amazing with what they had for Little Mermaid last year. The music was absolutely amazing, and now they have a full space to actually like spread out and do their thing with. So I'm sure the sets will be amazing. I'm sure everything will be absolutely amazing. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. And that's going to be almost all from us. We'll have one more episode for you guys coming out after the musical.
Peace. I'm here with a student I found. You said your name's Ty, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're only a bit away from the musical. What do you think about it?
I heard there's going to be a lot of Elvis.
Yeah, that indeed, yes, you are correct about that, yeah. Any other thoughts?
I think it takes place in the 50s, but we'll see.
Okay, that's a very nice theory you have going on. I like it, yes. Okay, well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so the show just ended. What do you think about it?
I think it went really well. Yeah. The actors were great. Everybody did great, especially the booth. The sound crew, they did really good.
I honestly think this production is the most fun I've had with every production I've been in. Just the cast, the crew, is just like, it's unbeatable. It's a lot of fun to be in.
It felt great. I felt really good about these 3 shows we performed this weekend, and the payoff of like the months of practicing is just really great here, and when it all came together with the actors and the audience reactions really like sold it for me. I don't know, it was great.
It's kind of bittersweet, to be honest. It's our last big performance ever, at least for me with the high school group, and yeah.
Yeah, I am stoked. It was such a good performance, but yeah, I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad to be going. It's sad.
If you had to shout out, you could shout out just one person. Anybody who worked on the performance, who would shout out?
Oh my gosh. I want to shout out Erin Ladd. She's the president of Drama Club. Absolutely amazing. She worked so hard on this production, and I feel like crew is sometimes like the unsung heroes of like any show, and I just want to say thank you to her because she did so much for this whole production.
I think I'd like to shout out Mr. Eldridge, because without him, we would not have the set that we did. We had that huge bridge in the back that would not have been possible without him.
Who's Dennis. I gotta give all the props to Dennis. That man got so many laughters, and just like his character in general was just so funny. I owe that whole like cast shout out to Dennis for sure.
I would shout out Chad. I think just all those lines, and I was surprised that he could sing so well. I never heard Declan sing before, so it was like really cool hearing him.
Who played Earl again?
Tommy Freeman.
Yeah. Tommy? You know what? He's gonna be famous. Okay. For all intents and purposes, the amount of cheers that he got that we here had never thought that he was gonna get just came out of nowhere, and you know what? I love him for it.
Yeah, you're really enjoying the sound through here. It seems like you want to.
Oh,
Seems like you're a part of it or something, which is very weird.
Oh
yeah.
no, I just enjoy the music.
Yeah, that's very weird. Yeah.
So then, again, you guys have been working on this since spring break, or winter break, sorry, right before winter break. You know, you're finally done with it. You ever gonna like buy your own volition, go out and listen to Elvis music?
Honestly, I think because of the show, I'm going to. The show actually got me into Elvis music way more than I was before, so I'm probably gonna stay away for a little bit, but I think I'm going to.
Oh my God, no. A song from All Shook Up came on my playlist the other day, and I was like, no, off.
If I had to listen to Elvis Presley, I wouldn't feel so bad.
It hasn't gotten old for me yet, so I for sure would listen to more Elvis music.
Pretty sick of it. I'm not gonna lie. Playing it and listening to it are two different things. I think I need to retire from playing that type of music, but I would listen to him if it came on the radio.
Well, that wraps it up. We're just going to thank a few people here. We're going to thank Mr. T for greenlighting this project that we had ideas on. Both Moisenkos, Mr. and Mrs. for heading the production of All Shook Up. All the teachers and students that were involved in the production of All Shook Up. Everybody like in booth and all that. We literally could not do this without you, so we thank you for that.
And that's all that we have from us too as far as this project goes. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we did making it. We had a blast interacting with everybody on all sides of the production. And as far as us goes, we'll see you in whatever comes next.
Yep.
Peace.